If you've been a photographer for long, you probably know that the photography community can be pretty toxic, and there's a lot of people that really want to gatekeep and make it more difficult for beginners. I personally think this is really, really sad because I love helping beginners, and I think that you don't get anywhere by putting other people down. Rather, the best people out there are the ones that are helping bring other people up. But I just wanted to address that in today's video. In this video, I'm going to be sharing just a few of the many hateful comments I've received on a Facebook ad in the last few weeks, but I want to explain exactly what that Facebook ad is first before I dive into reading some of these pretty nasty comments. So the way this Facebook ad came about, and these are Facebook ads for Topaz Photo AI, which is Topaz's newest software. You've probably seen the ads on Facebook if you're a Facebook user, because Topaz dumps a bunch of money into the advertising. Anyways, so a long time ago, I first found Topaz, probably 3 or 4 years ago, just from seeing the Facebook ads. I was always a skeptic at the before and afters on their website because they always looked fake. But I was like, you know what? I can write it off as a business expense. I'm going to buy this Topaz, and I tried it. It worked really well. I was actually really, really impressed, and I really liked the software. So anyways, fast forward a few years, I created a YouTube channel. I started gaining more social media followers, and I filed for an affiliate link. An affiliate link is essentially just a link where if I recommend the product to you, you click the link. It doesn't cost you any more to buy the product, but I get a kicker. I get a portion of that sale. So I essentially organically started promoting their software because I thought that it was great. I wasn't doing it because I got an affiliate link, because any professional photographer knows you can get an affiliate link for just about anything other than the Adobe software. Pretty much any other plugin or any other software you can get an affiliate link for. So if I thought there was a better software out there, I would simply promote that instead. But I do think that the Topaz software is absolutely amazing. So I've been promoting it via an affiliate link. And if you look on my channel, there's tons of videos covering the Topaz software. This is a really nice way for me to supplement a little bit of income, as well as show you guys a software that works really, really well. So long story short, a couple of my videos became pretty highly ranked on YouTube when you search up the Topaz software, and I've been doing pretty well on the affiliate commission. Now, Topaz has seen that and since reached out to me, and they watched my videos on YouTube and said that they really liked the way I was teaching it and the way I was showing it and the reviews that I had, and they were wondering if I wanted to make a testimonial video in which they would pay me for the testimonial video, and then they would promote it via their ad dollars through my profile. So of course I was like, sure, why not? And I knew that I wouldn't get any affiliate commission from the testimonial video that I was going to make, but I was happy to do it because they were going to pay me a small amount of money just to make like a 3-minute long testimonial video, which takes me like an hour or less to do. So it was no problem at all. So I made the testimonial video. Everything I said was true. I said, I really like this software. It's great for reducing noise. It's great for sharpening your images. I'm a landscape photographer. It's not all blue skies and sunny days and sitting there on a tripod for me. A lot of times I'm out, I'm backpacking, or I'm shooting on the run, or I'm shooting astrophotography, or whatever it might be. And the Topaz software is really helpful, which is 100% true. I love the software. So I made that, and essentially I sent Topaz a few images, and they build the ads themselves. So they created a series of ads, which they have been sponsoring via their ad dollars. Again, I don't make any money if you click on the Facebook ad and buy the software, but it is ran through my account, so it's getting some additional exposure to my account. Now you can see the ads right here. They're pretty simple ads. They just show essentially how the software works. And one of them, which Topaz definitely wanted to use the verbiage that I said, is that I've been able to shoot at up to 20,000 ISO. This has sparked quite the controversy on Facebook, and the comments are wild. There's right now about 220 comments on this post, and these are all this is a sponsored post of people calling me out for saying that you can't shoot ISO 20,000, or you don't know what you're doing, or whatever it may be. I'll justify the shooting 20,000 because I honestly don't do it a lot. I'd prefer not to do it. My Sony a7R performs great, but the Topaz software really helps me to reduce the noise, and it allows me to shoot photos. Like, for example, I'll shoot at ISO 20,000 if I'm out on a workshop and I want to take pictures of some of my clients shooting night photos. I want to do a faster exposure, whatever. Either way, doesn't matter why I'm shooting at those settings. I very, very rarely will shoot at ISO 20,000 if I'm shooting something that's moving in the dark. Anyways, there was a wide range of comments on this post that are just so unnecessary, As a photographer, I think, and as just anyone that browses the internet, you have to understand that not everything you see on the internet is going to be for you. And yes, there's ads. Yes, it's frustrating to see ads all the time on Instagram or Facebook, but understand that those platforms are trying to make money, as well as the companies that are posting the ads are trying to make money. It is essential for the economy to go around that there is ads. I understand if you don't like them. If you don't want to see the ads, simply keep on scrolling. But with these sponsored posts, as well as some of the Instagram Reels that have been receiving a little bit more traction that I've posted lately, I've gotten so many hateful comments. It honestly cracks me up. It makes me laugh when I read them, but I really wish that people would not leave comments like that, because I know there is people out there that it hurts their feelings and it makes people feel like crap. And honestly, if you don't have anything that's either nice to say or it's constructive, don't bother saying anything at all. Just keep scrolling. It is so easy to keep scrolling. So with that being said, I wanted to read you guys a few of these comments and just let you think about, why is the photography community so incredibly toxic? Let me read to you a few of these comments. So the first comment was on my ad where I talked about using ISO 20000, and this guy had said, "This feller wouldn't survive in the days of film," which, like, that's fine. I'm fine not surviving in the days of film. Like, I also probably wouldn't have survived in the days where people lived in caves and had to grow their own food either. So just unnecessary to comment something like that, whatever. Next one, that actually, this one did kind of bother me a little bit. So this guy had posted this photo and he said, "Try shooting a very small bird in the rain at 150 feet. You're not shooting at f1.4. Essentially, the context of this is he is supporting my claim, saying that this software really works and he used the software. And one of the comments on it, which really bothered me, I think it's really disrespectful, is this guy that commented on the photo and he just said, "Looks like bad Photoshop." Like, that's so unnecessary to comment something like that when someone posts their work. Like I said, it doesn't bother me. It's an ad. I get it. I'm going to get some flack for an ad. But like, when someone comments on the ad just saying like, "Hey, here's a photo that I used this software for," it's so unnecessary to tell them that it looks like bad Photoshop. Like, are you that insecure about yourself that you need to just go bring somebody else down? It's so unnecessary. And for the record, I thought the photo was pretty cool myself. Now, through all of these negative comments, there is a few positive ones and ones that I really liked. This one here is someone that said, "I work as a conservation biologist, spending most of my working days outdoors, identifying things. A typical day, I'll return home with 300 to 600 photos, most of them shot without a tripod. No time to prepare, think twice about settings. I have 2 cameras in my bag, / hanging around my neck, one with a 600mm lens and one for macro shots. A total of 10 to 20 kilograms of equipment, walking in demanding terrain for hours in a row, short of breath, bad weather. In other words, not the best conditions for sharp, well thought out photos." I 100% resonate with this. This is 100% me to a T. And then he goes on to say that Topaz has been a game changer for him. "Everyone complaining about how we should learn how to use our equipment. You can go on taking your photos in your own pace at controlled environments." I agree 100%. This comment is great, and I really appreciate this. You know, we aren't always all out there sitting there on a blue sky day waiting for 4 hours for the light to change. A lot of us are shooting on the run, and a lot of us don't have time to sit there and think about our photos or double check if they're sharp or whatever it may be. So this one's pretty good too. This guy is an expert. He knows all these guys have signed up to the affiliate program. Anyone shilling these products or just desperate for a few extra bucks, Avon calling. I don't know what that means. Maybe someone in the comments could tell me what that means. But I am signed up for the affiliate program. But like I said, I don't make any from this sponsored post. And it's actually against the terms. If I was to sponsor one of my own posts with an affiliate link, I would get terminated from the affiliate program. But I guess this guy knows it all, and so why not comment on it? Anyways, so there was another guy that had mentioned, he commented essentially that you can do exactly what you can do in Topaz in Lightroom, which from my experience, you cannot. I commented back at him and I said, "You should consider trying it out. You know, I've done a lot of testing among multiple products, and Lightroom performs the worst by far for noise reduction and sharpening. And I've got a couple of videos on my YouTube featuring that." And this guy commented right after that, and his comment was, "You should consider shutting up." I got a good laugh at this one. It brought me back to like 3rd grade when you would always just get people by telling them to shut up. Like, unfortunately, not a good comeback unless we're in elementary school. So next comment here, "Fake photography for fake photographers. Well, maybe you can get a job at the National Geographic," because I guess that's for fake photographers too. I don't know. I didn't quite understand that, but all right. Next comment, here we go. This guy's responding to someone else who was actually kind of backing me up saying, you know, hey, I use this software too. I'm a landscape photographer, yada, yada, yada. And his response was, you left out the part where he said he's a landscape photographer who misses focus. Literally impossible if one is shooting correctly. That comment is actually correct. If you're shooting correctly, you wouldn't miss the focus, but like, we don't all go correct 100% of the time, you know? And maybe there's some of you guys out there that you do nail every single shot every single time. If that's you, you should be world renowned, because I can't do it. And I know my clients don't do it. And you're just not going to get it right every single time. There's going to be times where you make mistakes. This comment here, this guy commented quite a few times. I was really in his head, I think, but he commented, never met a pro that runs and guns landscape work. So I might be the very first pro landscape photographer that likes to run and gun. You know, I like to hold my camera and shoot a lot of different shots and get a lot of different compositions. I love using my tripod, but a lot of times I'm running around with the tripod slung on my shoulder and I'm firing shots back and forth and I'm moving around and the conditions are crazy. And I suspect there's a lot of other landscape photographers out there like that too. Next comment, and this one is a classic, one of those where someone is going to tell you what they've done to like verify that what they're saying is better than what you're saying. He says, you really are not a photographer. I worked for 30 years with analog, and sensitivities used for color were from 50 to 400 ISO. And here we talk about using ISO 20,000 for landscape shots. But be serious. You and this poor boy, Austin James Jackson, buy yourself a tripod. He's shot for 30 years using analog and sensitivities. Got to respect his opinion, I guess. This one here, absolutely one of my favorite comments. Super sarcastic, and I got a good laugh out of this one. Austin, you got this, babe. To start with, you need a better tripod and learn hyperfocal distance to get the maximum depth of field for your chosen aperture. I'd also learn to get your ISO to your camera's base setting and to expose to the right to maximize the dynamic range of your sensor. These are all week 1 basics. I've shot in locations that would have you running for cover, and I've managed just fine. If you are still confused, I'd suggest joining a photography group with experience and knowledge. For now, you're confused and not really a landscape photographer. You'll get there one day, I promise. I really appreciate that. That is just so nice. Thank you so much. When am I going to move on to the week 2 basics? Because I think I've mastered week 1. Here's another one. Back in the day, you took pictures. You didn't make them on a Mac. You waited ages for the light. You double checked your focus and exposure, and you only had a few exposures to get it right. You told the truth. I understand, but I don't think that digital photography is not necessarily telling the truth. This software simply just removes noise or sharpens photos that aren't sharp. You're not like dropping a sky in or anything crazy like that, but whatever. This comment here, another really good sarcastic one. Thank goodness, it's so much easier taking blurry photos instead of sharp ones. Now I can just spray and pray rather than using good technique. Brilliant. That is a great idea. That is probably what I'm going to start doing out in the field now. Is I'm just not even going to worry about focus. I'm just going to spray and pray, and I'll go back and use Topaz to fix my photos. Like, of course, all photographers are out there trying to get the best photo sharp. It's just that not 100% of the time we're going to come up perfect. Next comment, too expensive. Know your camera, learn how and where to focus, use a tripod. Not really that helpful to tell somebody to know their camera, especially when I've already mentioned in previous comments that like this software is for times where you make a mistake or you're shooting in low light. Whatever. This one here, I would be embarrassed to call myself a professional photographer if the image to the left is the best I can do. It's not as though the tree was moving all the time in the world and you can't focus. Joke. The joke is on this guy actually, because like I mentioned in a previous comment, which he obviously didn't read because he just wanted to spread some hate on here. It was actually really windy outside. There was sand blowing everywhere. And the tree was moving because it was windy. I had to do a faster shutter speed, and I didn't have all the time in the world because the light lasted for about 5 minutes, and I was trying to shoot about 8 different compositions. So I was absolutely hustling. The reason I didn't get the tree in focus is because I used the autofocus, and the autofocus selected the background instead of the tree in the foreground. My mistake. I should have got it right, but I was lucky to have Topaz to be able to fix it. So anyways, I guess I should be embarrassed to call myself a professional because of slightly missing the focus on that photo. Here's another comment. We'll throw this in the bin of helpful comments for later. How about just becoming a proficient photographer, skilled at all aspects? Oh, but can't have that. That would take effort. Thank you. Very helpful. This one here is just absolutely great logic. If the product was any good, there would be no need to spam it daily on social media, employing unheard of so-called photographers to flog it. This is like, I have a marketing degree, and this is like absolutely pinnacle of makes no sense. You're basically saying that just running an ad means that something sucks, and any successful company in the world is running ads for their products. That's how you sell products. That's how you generate awareness. And Topaz is trying to just make photographers aware that their software exists. But anyways, this one here, another one, add it to the helpful comments bin. It's a static tree. Learn to shoot and focus. Problem solved. Thank you so much. This guy commented on probably like 4 of the posts, like multiple days in a row. I was really in this guy's head. Topaz should work with real photographers for these sponsored posts. The ones with this guy are all jokes, it seems like. And this guy like private messaged me. He really did not like my ads, and he didn't like me, and he kept calling me a fake photographer, and like whatever you want to say, brother. This one, why don't you take your pictures correctly in the first place? Just absolutely great advice. Couldn't recommend it more. Just take your pictures right in the first place, and you won't have to use the software. Thank you so much. If your keepers are noisy and have missed focus, you're not a professional. The funny thing about this guy, actually, I looked at his profile, and his header image was blurry. Like the whole photo was blurry. So that was kind of a head scratcher to me, because he later in the comments, he was saying how he was a professional. So whatever. This guy, actually, his comments got taken down by Facebook because they were so rude, which like I leave them up, but someone went through and like flagged some comments. And this was one of the guys who commented quite a bit. He commented on quite a few. He said, I've just watched a couple of the YouTube videos, because he looked at my YouTube channel. Professional landscape photographer, you say? Never in a million years, buddy. All right, if that makes you happy. And then he follows up his comment later by saying, worse than that, he is a fake who swaps skies and adds sun rays using software. Not even an amateur, but a fake. I'm not even an amateur, man. I'm actually a fake. That is tough. The YouTube channel is hilarious. Unfortunately, this guy thinks that like just because I show something on my channel that I actually use it. There's a lot of techniques that I've covered on my channel, and maybe you guys have picked this up, that they're not necessarily things I use, but they're things that some photographers might want to know how to use. Like in this example, the sun rays. I don't really use the adding sun rays to my photos or swapping skies, but I know a lot of you guys out there might want to use it. So I post it because I hope that it's helpful. So that kind of wraps up all of the nasty comments, and there's quite a few more nasty comments. There's quite a few nice ones. If you want to read them, go on my Facebook page and you can read like over 250 comments. Honestly, the final word here is just that it's really disappointing to me. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It just kind of cracks me up, but it does really kind of reek of, there's a lot of gatekeeping. The community is really toxic. Like, you don't help people by telling them to get better. Like, that's not a way to help people. If you don't have anything nice or constructive to say, just keep scrolling. And honestly, I know there is so many photographers out there that uplift each other and help each other out. And it's really unfortunate that this small community of people that just wants to pull others down is really out there shining. It's really disappointing. In my opinion, the best photographers out there are the ones who are lifting other photographers up and helping them to create better images. And I just hope that as a photography community, we can do better. I know most of you guys probably don't like seeing comments like this or condone actions like that. I certainly don't. But I did just want to bring it to light, because there's a lot of people that I've been posting a few comments here and there, and they've gotten a good kick out of it. I hope you got a good kick out of this video and a good laugh. And ultimately, I hope that you'll leave this video really wanting to go out there and help people more, as opposed to bring people down, because you only get worse when you bring other people down. Bringing other people up is the way that you get better. And if you can get some constructive criticism, that is the way to go. If you want to leave a constructive comment on someone's post, that's the way to go. But it's not helpful to tell people that you just need to get better, or just do this, just do that. It's not helpful. And leaving a disrespectful comment really only hurts you. So that is that. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I know it's not super helpful to help your photography this week, but I did feel like it needed to be brought up, because it is kind of getting a little ridiculous with the hateful comments. They're just so unnecessary. Thank you guys so much for checking out this week's video. We'll be back next week for you guys with a little more helpful YouTube video. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.